Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Dan.
I'm Maria.
We are married.
And we're worship leaders.
And we've been leading worship together for more than 10 years.
We want to bring people together to experience the love of Christ.
Yeah, and we do that through creating songs and music.
Leading worship.
And videos.
Just like these.
So we're doing something a little bit different, being a little more just conversations, kind of talking through some ideas, some stuff that's on our hearts. And we made some notes just to kind of help us keep on track. I want to make them a little bit shorter. But we want to talk about something that I think doesn't get talked about enough, at least not specifically. You'll hear kind of some general stuff about this. But I want to talk about being a worship leader when you're not on stage.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Because I think we all know that there's a responsibility as leaders to not just lead when we're on. You know, we're not just like performers to go on stage, and then when we're off stage, it doesn't matter what we do, but it matters all the time. I love, one of my favorite quotes is John Maxwell from, we did that, Developing a Leader Within You. We did this at my church a while ago, and he talked about how leadership is influence. So even though you're maybe not the leader, you can still influence. And that influence can be really strong. I think we've all been in situations where somebody was leading that wasn't in charge and maybe not leading in the best, to the best place. Right.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. And, you know, one of the ways that we can be worship leaders off the stage is being an example, right? So that means going to church when you're not leading worship. And you might be thinking, well, I lead every weekend. Well, understand that there are some people and that's what they have to do depending on their church. But that means after you get off the stage, sitting in the service and letting people see you. And as you listen to the word from the pastor, you need to make sure you're getting fed yourself. Yeah. And but if you're not leading every weekend, it means going to church and worshiping and letting people see how you worship, that it's not just on the stage, it's not just a performance, it's actually how you are. It is who you are. Yeah. And so you're leading by example down in the congregation, and that doesn't mean that you're trying to show off for them. Yeah. But some people don't know how to lead, how to be in worship and what to do in worship. And so now they feel like, you know, you're down off the stage and, you know, you're somebody that they can watch.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, you know, obviously we're serving in church, but finding a service or finding some place where we can go and just be part of the service can be really important. I would really encourage everyone to do that. Yeah. Find a service that maybe you can have somebody else lead for if you're in a smaller church, and just be able to just go and not be involved in making that service happen, because you can definitely get burned out. And church can become work. It can become just a place you go to do a job. And that's not what God's heart is for church. Not that, you know, obviously there's work involved, but it's important. And I think being authentic can be really good too. Sometimes people,
that's a good word.
We've all met people that I think you felt like even when they weren't on stage, even they were just in the congregation, they're kind of putting on a show, kind of showing off. And I think that's
it just feels kind of icky.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't be like that. I mean, be authentic, be real, and be a real worshiper. Yeah. I do think though that having somebody in the congregation that is setting an example in worship is sometimes more powerful than someone on stage setting an example in worship. Because I feel like there can be sometimes a separation between the people in the congregation and the people on stage, especially if it's a bigger church, it's a bigger stage, and you might be farther away. You feel like that's for them up there, and they're singing and they're lifting their hands and they're passionate, but that's for them. Right. And we're doing something different. But I think when there's people that are in the congregation that are saying, no, this is how we worship, it can spread, it can be contagious, and that can change the feel of the whole room. Yeah, I agree. It really does. I mean, people are looking for that. And, you know, as much as when we're on stage, we want them to, you know, be able to become engaged and follow us. But, join in, and join in. But I feel like you said, Dan, is that, you know, the truth is sometimes people connect better with the person who's standing next to them, you know, who's down off the stage. It gives them permission. I think sometimes we're not sure. Especially if you're a newcomer to church, we forget how weird it is, how different it is, how scary it can be, how uncomfortable it can be to not know what you're supposed to do. How am I supposed to stand? When am I supposed to stand? How am I supposed to? And just kind of somebody saying, no, this is okay, and giving them permission to worship can be powerful. Another way I feel like is just showing kindness and humility
when you are off the stage.
In life.
In life,
not
in
just
general.
at church.
Yeah, not just at church. I mean, in life in general. But, you know, if people see you at church and they're so excited to see you and they want to take a picture or just talk with you, taking that time, and it might only be 30 seconds, and you might have something that you have to do, or, you know, you're like, I only have so much time between the next service. But that literally
food, right?
can change their lives. I mean, that really touches them, and it really helps you connect with them. So then the next time you're on stage, they're going to remember that encounter that you had, right? I mean, they're going to say, oh my goodness, she took a picture with me. Oh, she talked with me. He talked with me. Prayed with me. He
helped me.
Listened to me when I had something.
Figure out my car problem.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those simple things don't ever be too big to do simple things to help. Be a helpful person. Be someone that cares. Be someone that loves, that has kindness. That's a good word.
That means helping when there's need someplace else, maybe even in the church, or, you know, whatever it may be. But really, I mean, kindness goes so far.
Yeah.
And people don't get that most of the time throughout the week.
Yeah.
And so when they come to church and they see you and you're kind to them, you might be the only person who says something nice to them the whole week. And so I just feel like that's really a big deal.
Yeah. I think you're right. So we go to a church where there's kind of space for the band to get some water or get some coffee or just kind of take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And that's called the green room normally, right? The kind of backstage area. And I think it's important to not, as ministers, avoid people. You know, I think Jesus was in among the people. Jesus was with people. Jesus went out and met people. And I think we need to be like that. As much as we may be tired and may feel like, you know, there's a little bit of time. I've been up since, 5 a.m. and I've got 2 more services, but that's what God has called us to be, is to be self-sacrificing and say it's about others. It's not about myself.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely struggle with that because I want to be able to be engaged with people and be able to talk with them, but sometimes I do. I just want to go and sit in the green room,
zone out for 10 minutes,
because I'm just tired or just need to like recharge or just refresh. Everything.
And that can be okay. I'm not saying don't do that, but I think sometimes we can separate ourselves so much that it's not good. It becomes not a good thing.
And then that goes along with at least making sure you're seen in the service and being part of the service and listening to your pastor and getting fed, making sure that you are.
I'm part of this church. I'm part of this congregation. We're all in this together. It's not us and them. It's not me and then you. It's all of us. I think that's really important. And then obviously, a good worship life and a good prayer life is part of being a worship leader off stage. Is you will always minister out of the overflow of what happens in your own personal prayer time.
Right.
So if you're not worshiping, if you're not praying, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, and you're going to find yourself worn down. So definitely make sure you're making time for that.
It definitely will really show through when people just even see you in the streets or you're at work or whatever it may be. There's going to be a difference because you're not just wearing yourself out on a Sunday and then not filling yourself up during the week. And so
important.
It's just really important. So we really encourage you to do that. And so it is, being a worship leader is a high calling. It is
being in ministry in any way.
Yeah, ministry, and to remember that it's not just happening on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
It is
definitely
all throughout the week, and you never know who you're going to see. You never know who you're going to bump into, and be an example no matter where you are. You don't want to be caught somewhere, like in Walmart yelling at something. I don't know, but you want to always
being nasty to the cashier.
You want to always be a good example. So be a worship leader at all times.
Definitely. We hope this was interesting and helpful. And if you have any questions or any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Definitely leave those, or you can contact us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. So let us know what your thoughts are.
See you next time.
Bye.